Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Think Secrets. My name is Kristen Van Tilburg. You Think Secrets is a podcast where we explore the ways that you can defy the default aging programs that are making your body look old and feel old, and activate the biological mechanisms that keep your body young and vibrant and radically alive. 6 months ago, my mother died at age 103. And it was a terrible experience. The last week of her life was absolutely horrendous, and it caused me to begin to ask myself, does it really have to be this way? What if aging isn't all that inevitable? What if it's a program that we can rewrite? And I started looking at research and exploring, and this podcast is my journey to find out through science and consciousness and real experiments that I'm performing on myself. Not an expert, not pretending to be an expert. I'm just an explorer, um, how to activate these youthing mechanisms. And I thought that you might want to come along on the journey with me. Today, I want to explore one mechanism that I know for sure ages people, and that is regret. Regret is a combination of words that we hold in our minds and or our hearts that's about what we wish we had done differently, mistakes that we made, choices that we made that we now wish we had chosen something else. And I came upon a podcast with Mel Robbins last week, and she was interviewing a researcher from Cornell. His name is Dr. Carl Pillemer, and he has the Legacy Project at Cornell University. And he has interviewed over 1,200 people ages 70 to 100 and asked them about their life experiences. He asked them about their biggest regrets. And over time, they began to talk about something that was called the backpack. And that is the load, the weight of regret that we carry on our backs for things that have been unspoken. And I think this is one of the reasons that we age. The biggest regret that these people had in the Legacy Project was not saying, I love you to the people that they truly loved. And then there are also words that they said that they wish they hadn't said. This feeling of regret, things, upsets, breakdowns, um, family members that we've been in conflict with that remain unresolved. These things are aging our biology. And it shows in our face. And the older you get, the more this unresolved regret takes its toll on your physiology. When my mom um, was about 102 and a half, she had a pretty bad fall. She was in the emergency room, but thankfully, other than some pretty serious cuts and bruises, there was no serious injury. But after that, she never did really come back to that pre-fall state that she had. And I think one of the reasons was because she was really afraid of falling again and getting hurt. So this last year of her life, that accident happened on August 9th of 2024, and she died August 1st of 2025. That last year was a real decline, and I could see it. And because I could see it, I knew that I would never know when my last time to be with her would be. And so I started making a very conscious effort to say everything that needed to be said and not to end one visit or phone call with her with anything left undone. And because of that, when she died, although I had terrible heartbreak, I didn't have any regrets. Everything was said, everything was complete. And in fact, I feel like we had the best relationship of my life, the 70, almost 70 years that I was with her in those last years of her life. It really started during COVID. And that last 5 years from 2020 to 2025, we were in really good communication. But I'm wondering what it is that's been left unsaid that's in your backpack. And I'm wondering if you've ever considered that carrying all that weight around is aging you. So these words, you might wonder, well, how does that work? These words aren't just words in your mind, they actually trigger biological hormones in your body, especially the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. And the more that you keep your body fueled with those stress hormones, the faster you age. That's just a fact. You can Google that for yourself and see how many studies there are about the effects of stress. Stress is underneath all the chronic diseases, heart disease and diabetes. And I'm not saying that there aren't other factors, but I am saying that these stress hormones are very destructive to your biological integrity. And it's having a biological integrity that keeps you in touch with your deepest self and keeps your body fueled by positive biological mechanisms. Oxytocin and is the hormone that makes us feel connected. And then this peppy, alive feeling, these are all chemicals that the body makes for itself based on what you're thinking about, how you're using your body, and just in general. The secret, if there is one, to the fountain of youth is to stay in a positive relationship with your true self. And that true self is connected to this flow of life. And that flow of life is what keeps you radically alive, no matter how many trips you've made around the sun. I mean, this is the thing that's so insidious about aging is we have associated aging with these trips around the sun. And I'm not saying that there isn't some connection there, but I am saying that there is very powerful, solid, Harvard-based, using one example, research that shows that it's our environment that triggers our biology, not the other way around. And so when your daily environment is radically alive and vital and connected to the flow of life, your physical features are going to feel younger and look younger than a mindset that says, well, I've made, for in my case, 69 trips around the sun, and that means I'm getting old and there's nothing I can do about it. So, with regard to this regret, I just want to ask you a really important question. What if it's not too late to empty out that backpack? Or at least just start with something simple. What's one thing that you know for sure is in that backpack that you could take out of there? What if the thing that's in the backpack, the regret about a situation, has nothing to do with the other people that were involved in the situation, or very little to do? I guess I shouldn't say nothing to do, but very little to do with the other people involved in the situation, and has mostly to do with how you think about yourself, your life, and other people. It's those thoughts that are completely in your ability to shift. And that shift is where you can create that connection to your own flowing life force that keeps you feeling young and radically alive. So this week, I just want to invite you to try something. Choose one regret that you wouldn't mind letting go of and express it. Express it out loud. Doesn't have to be to any other person, and it doesn't have to be out loud if you like to write. It's okay to write it down. And if it's not something that you want to communicate to anyone else, just say it and let it go, or write it and burn it. But in any case, let yourself explore what it is that's keeping that in the regret column in your backpack. What I found with regrets in my life is that what I need in order to let go of a regret is to see the situation from a higher perspective. And usually a higher perspective includes not just what I think, but what I think about what others think, what I think others think about me, what I think about life, and what I think about myself. And so to see the situation from a higher perspective means that you shift your ability to imagine the situation differently. What if it doesn't mean what you thought it meant? What if you can change the meaning by the way that you think about it? What if you see that while there was a disagreement, there was your perspective, but the other person had a perspective? You don't have to agree with that perspective, but what if you can just acknowledge that they had their own perspective? What about your thoughts about life? What if life is actually for you? What if every rough situation that you've ever faced contains a gift for you, an opportunity for you to expand your sense of who you are and to become much more that sense of flowing aliveness that keeps you radically alive, and much less your little self, your little personality that, we have wounds, we have had bad experiences, we've had tough things happen to us. And if that's all of who you see yourself to be, that backpack is going to be full of regrets. But if you find a different context for your life, you can allow what is now showing up as a regret to become a learning opportunity that makes you stronger, healthier, more vibrant, and more alive. Your cells will thank you for this, believe me. If you work through something like this and you take a regret and you let it go and you feel that lightness, you'll know. You'll know without any research needing to be done that that was a good thing for you. That you do feel lighter, that you do feel freer, that you do feel happier, that you do feel more content with whatever those circumstances are, even if you never tell another soul. But you may find that from this new perspective, there's no reason not to talk about it. And if that's the case, that will allow you to build connection with people that are important to you. And if those people have passed on, there's no reason that you can't feel that connection even now. I know. I miss my mom. I miss her physical presence, but I do feel very connected to her. I just miss being able to talk to her, being able to see her, being able to hug her. Those things I can't get back. But the feeling of being deeply connected to my mother, I didn't lose that when she died. And if you've lost that with someone that you love that's died, I'm here to say that it is possible to reclaim that sense of connection by being complete in your communication and by being willing to see the situation from a larger perspective. So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to let go of a regret this week and see what difference it makes. See if it doesn't change the way the person looks that you see when you look in the mirror. So, thank you for being here. If this conversation landed with you and you think it could help someone else, please share it. That's the whole way that connections get made in this world, is that we connect each other with each other. So please help somebody find this podcast that might need to take a regret out of their backpack today. And I'll be back soon with another episode. Thank you so much.